G'day everyone and welcome to another wonderful episode of the Joey Wiggle Experience. And man, we have got not just one but two wonderful guests for you today, and they have both performed all around Australia. And particularly if you've grown up in the 80s and 90s, you will best remember them as Terry Murray and Gillian Eastoe. It's wonderful to have you both on the show with us today.
There we go. I was pressing the button.
Yeah.
Press the button.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, it's great fun.
Thank you, Joey.
I'm excited.
That's a picture of Terry excited.
It's wonderful. It's great to have you both on the show. So most of our listeners will probably best remember you both, particularly you, Gillian, as a children's entertainer, particularly in the early 90s, and Terry for performing with the Wiggles during their early years. But there's a lot more to you because you guys have both performed, for decades, particularly you, Gillian. At one point, you were once considered, or probably still are considered, one of the country's top rock and roll singers. So what was that like for you? So what was your earliest inspirations into getting into music?
Oh, I think, just coming out of the womb, actually, I always loved singing. So the family, we used to drive around, 4 kids and mum and dad, and an old FJ Holden with about 5 pug dogs in the back, and I'd sing all the time, and they'd all turn around and say, "Shut up." Pretty much that's my influence. They weren't going to shut me up. No, I just love singing. I feel like that's what I do. I do drum. I drum now too, so stand-up drum. So yeah.
Oh, drum, as in drumming.
Yeah, as in drumming. Yeah.
Oh wow, Gillian the drummer.
Yeah. So we work together now. Still, I think at 72, neither of us thought we'd still be going, but we just finished a gig on a Friday, and there we are. And
That's a great photo too, by the way.
Isn't it lovely?
Yeah.
That's us. Look. Yeah.
So you two have been. So it's crazy because you two have been performing for. So how long has it been since you two started performing together?
Oh gosh,
Well, tell them about you. Came over from.
I came over from England in '82, and that's when I first met Gillian. But we didn't have much to do with each other. She was kind of looking for another guitar player. She had Phil Emanuel playing guitar for her, and he left to become Phil Emanuel, and we was just looking for other guitar players. And I went over to meet her, but I was actually working with a lot of other people at the time, like Doug Parkinson and Marsha Hines, and I just carried on doing that sort of stuff. Yeah, so I didn't, and then we started to get together when the ABC started to do kid stuff,
tours,
and I was always the back behind the scenes music person, and everyone else used to go out and do the act, but I was in charge of the buttons and guitars and keyboards behind stage.
Well, he also had to be a comedian as well. He had to multitask.
Yeah. That's crazy because it's like because that's how I first heard about you, Terry, was through the early ABC videos when you were, I think it was behind the stage and you were called Tricky Terry. I don't know if that's
That's one of the names.
That's one of the names because I think it was you changing your hat every song, I think.
That's right. Well, I've been doing that all my life. It's the only way I survived.
That's why he's got no hair. He's changed his hat so many times.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is it do you still get called Tricky Terry, or was that just the first from me?
What?
Do you still get called Tricky Terry?
No, I'm just get out of the way now. They call me.
Terry who?
Only you.
Terry who? Yeah. And I was gonna say I forgot to ask Terry. So what was for you, because you came to Australia in '82. Before then, what was it like for you? And with music, and what was your earliest inspiration to pick up a guitar?
Well, my family were very musical. Kind of very musical. Where everyone played something. I think it was more in them days. You spend Christmas or a family event, and Granddad would get the piano accordion out, and and all things like that. And
Whether
I
you
just,
wanted it to or not.
yeah, that's right. And then I just fell in love with the guitar because it's basically, there was a band called The Shadows. And I just loved looking at the Shadows on telly playing electric guitar. And then the Beatles came along, and that was it. I just thought, I want to play guitar. So,
yeah.
and
Yeah, anytime the Beatles come along, it's like, yeah, I'm picking up a guitar.
Yeah.
It's a legendary thing, the Beatles. It'll never be replaced. And it altered life all around the planet, I reckon.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's crazy when you think about it. Yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I think you'd find an influence or a taste of the Beatles in just about everything that's been written since then.
Yeah.
Just years.
It's like they kind of wrote everything, so now we can't write anything now.
No, we can only snitch a couple of their things.
Amazing combination that happened that never happened again, I don't think.
But Terry was playing, heaps of bands and things, which he should tell you about before he came to Australia. But he basically came to Australia and met up with Tommy Emmanuel, and basically because my guitarist was Phil Emmanuel, we obviously met because Tommy used to fill in on drums for us in my band, Gillian Eastoe and King Dog, whenever the drummer was unavailable. So. And Tommy loved drumming, so it was just a natural thing that we ended up meeting.
Yeah.
But you've done so much leading up to coming to Australia.
Yeah, I worked with a lot of bands. I was kind of doing session guitar playing, so I'd end up working with, I don't know if anyone would remember these bands, but there was a band called Brotherhood of Man. They had a lot of hit records. I actually toured with a few American bands, the Four Tops and the Temptations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was working kind of as a guitarist hired, not part of a band really, but as a hired musician for tours and recordings.
Hired gun.
Yeah. So that's how I started. And I quite liked it. Coming to Australia was something that came out of the blue. I'd left to go to America, but the Americans didn't like me very much. So they said,
but we don't like the Americans either.
kind of fun, yes, really.
And it would probably happen now. Probably Trump would have kicked me out before I got there. You got to have hair like him to be allowed in. So.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
I just had to get. I didn't like. I think it's the weather. I couldn't stand the weather in Britain. It was like you wake up and it was damp. I mean, not so much cold, but damp. Everything was damp all the time.
It was mouldy tail. That's what it was called, mouldy tail.
Anyway, I got a chance to come here and I stayed. So it was
glad you came to Australia, man. It's very warm weather too, all the time. Particularly if you're in Queensland.
Well, not in Victoria there wasn't. But
not in Victoria. No, we're the absolute worst when it comes to the weather.
After 14 years, I said to him, "Okay, it's your turn. We'll move to the beach." It's been lovely. He goes in, it was freezing. He goes in the ocean. He's a mad pom.
Yeah. I've always said to anyone who says, "Oh, I like Melbourne." It's like you only want to come to Melbourne when it's summer. Do not come during winter. It is the worst unless you go to the snow and if you can afford it. But yeah.
It's so we're here now in
Whoopee,
just north of Coffs Harbour.
It is. It's called Whoopee.
Google Whoopee.
Google's called Whoopee. Apparently, Jack Thompson lives here too, so he's an old actor.
Oh, Jack Thompson! Oh, the actor Jack Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He lives down the road. We went there one day and
a big jamming day with everybody.
Yeah.
I met Jack when my band with Phil. We did the opening song and closing song to a movie he did called The Journalist, and Fancy Dancer or something. But that's when I met him. Hey?
Well, I remember him from because I studied acting, and I remember watching his film The Club, and I was really into that because it was because it was footy, and because he was like very unrecognizable to what he is now. But I thought he's a great actor, wonderful performer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
certainly is,
Oh no,
yeah.
he's a good Australian icon.
Yeah.
So that was Jack. So what has been the highlight? I'll ask you both this. What has been the absolute highlight for both of you in your careers? Has there been anyone that you've performed with that has been, I think, just the best?
Well, other than Terry, you mean?
I guess that answers the question.
Phil, I adored Phil. He was my best friend, Phil Emmanuel, and Dougie Mulray. We did a lot of stuff with Dougie Mulray, and Dougie and Liz. We've lost Doug now, sadly, but
Yeah. Oh wait, he was the one who he was the oh my god, it's so embarrassing that I remember him from this. He was the one who hosted that Naughty's Home Video show.
well,
Yeah.
if you look at that, you'll see Terry in a fishnet singlet.
I think
Oh,
yeah, I was
that's
gonna
like
say I
me.
think that looks like Terry.
Yeah. Well,
That's when he was called Fishnet Terry.
I only had one chin then.
Oh, Terry. Oh, that must have been was that live or was it pre-recorded? Because that was such an infamous.
It was pre-recorded, and I was in Queensland with friends, and everyone in the country was waiting to see it. And I was up there touring, and I thought, well, you know, we all got some wine in and things to nibble, and it was taken off the air halfway through by Kerry Packer.
Oh, so infamous too.
But I think there was more of a plot to make to be sensational about it rather than it being offensive.
There's no such thing as bad publicity or a sort of situation.
Yeah.
I used to go to Kerry Packer's place quite a few times to play
Private parties.
party guitar, like classical guitar, while he had dinner parties.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
Terry was a very fancy bloke.
It was pretty fancy. He had to put his best T-shirt on
Yeah.
and iron it.
Man, I told you, so that's one of the weirdest things, because once I was there and Kerry Packer actually came up to me and said, do you fancy having a break and something to eat? I said, oh, yeah, it'd be great. So I put the guitar down. He said, just go and I said, where'll I sit? He said, next to me. And he chatted with me for about half an hour. And it's weird because I'm looking at the richest man in Australia thinking, what can I tell him about me? But but he was a really nice bloke. I can't believe it. So there you go.
He was a very passionate man too. You can tell about a lot of things. Yeah.
Another one gone. They all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the ones who are passionate. Yeah.
Yeah. God. So there's one weird thing that happened for me many years ago back in Britain. It's kind of an interesting story. I tell people this. But I got to work with a band called the Wallace Collection. Now, you would have never heard of them, but they were actually put together to play for really rich people's parties. And we actually got a gig at Windsor Castle for the royal family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I used to do quite a few. They used to fly us all over the world, New York, St. Moritz, everywhere, to play these parties. And I had to be screened by the SAS because, they make sure I wasn't a terrorist. No, this is true. I mean, I used to have to send all my gear into gigs long before they could make sure it wasn't a bomb or something, And I got to Windsor Castle and I set up all my gear. Well, we had a road crew, and I was sort of mucking around with the guitar. The rest of the band had gone to their accommodation for the night because we stayed there. And believe it or not, I realised there was a couple of people walking past me, behind me, and I turned around, and it was the then Prince Charles, and a couple of guys walking with him. So I don't know whether they were bodyguards. I didn't know. And Prince Charles actually spoke to me.
I'm surprised he even needed any because I wouldn't have given him any.
That's right. But the weirdest thing was I actually always used to have 2 or 3 guitars on stage, because if you break a string when you're playing for the royal family, you don't stop the gig and put a new string on, So I I didn't realise that Prince Charles actually played the cello, and he played a little bit of guitar, and he took one of my Telecasters and he started strumming a chord of D, and I started to strum the chord of D with him. So when people ask me who's the most famous person I've ever played guitar with, I say Prince Charles.
King Charles now, yeah.
Yeah, we played D together.
Oh man, you don't get much better than that.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I don't think it gets better than that. I think that tops it there.
Terry can play more than the key of D now.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny. That is really.
He's got a few.
That's a great story too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. No, it is. Most people can't believe it. I've done radio interviews and things and mentioned it before. And most people can't quite believe it, but it was definitely true. You know, I wouldn't lie about it, but it was weird. You know, just being having. It was kind of like I was on LSD or something. You know, like this really.
He was purple. Tell him about the Queen when you met the Queen. That's the joke.
Oh, you met the Queen as well. Oh,
yeah, he did.
I did actually. Yeah, twice I've met her, and once was at the. It was in Australia with the Tommy Tico Orchestra. I was up in Queensland and we're doing the Commonwealth Games, and the Queen had come out. This is years ago when I first got here, and the Queen. There was a load of entertainers on, Australian entertainers. She came backstage to say hello, and it was really weird. And I thought to myself, my God, she's getting near me, and she's sort of talking, and then she said hello, and I didn't know what to say because the Queen. I didn't know whether I had to bow or curtsy or. So I actually licked her on the back of the head because the only time I've ever seen her was on a stamp.
Oh,
not true.
No, that's not true. But I did meet her.
If you ever look at the pictures of her from the back, it's still wet.
Yuck.
You two are such a blast to talk to, I swear.
Oh, we have fun. We just, like I said, we just did a gig on Friday. We at a lovely place called a Mogul Brewery here in Woolgoolga in Whoopi here, and we just have fun, you know. And we now after being flat out and after the Wiggles, we would, not Wiggles, but after the ABC for Kids, we both wrote heaps of songs for them. But after that, we got involved in school shows. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few videos of you performing in
so we did all over Australia doing rock shows in primary schools and high schools, and ended up with about 9 different shows and things like that. But we and then when we moved to Victoria, we started. I mean, a lot of the pubs are just beautiful pubs in rural Victoria, and there's a lot of lovely gigs, in real pubs, and no TVs and stuff up on the, So that was always fantastic, and that really honed our duo-ship, I suppose, and learning to just work well with just the two of us, because the bottom line is that we both know we're going to turn up. So a lot of years in chasing band members, and so we were flat out doing that. One year we did about
729 shows
all around Australia.
Oh wow. Well, you're basically topping the Wiggles of that.
We were literally flat out. Sometimes we'd have an actual day to get to the next part, but pretty much 2 and 3 shows a day, which was wonderful. We thoroughly enjoyed it. But now we just like to sort of hang around.
We just do local gigs. I don't really want to travel anymore. And
just local, lovely stuff, and stick to the ones we like. Oh, there you are. Look at you. So handsome. Look at that.
Jeez. That's what I did. I did a classical guitar concert in Castle, Maine.
Yeah.
That was taken.
At the Buddha Gardens or something. Yeah.
That's
on his nylon.
So you guys have so you've performed all around the country. So you've been to every single major state and city in the country, or is there anywhere you haven't been yet or you'd love to go to?
Not really.
No.
So I guess that's done then.
No, we toured everywhere. We also played for some of the biggest, private schools, and we also played to like little schools in the middle of apps. I mean, literally the middle of nowhere with about 10 kids, through to big, huge stages in, what's the
Brisbane and all
yeah,
that.
all of them. And we went to Tassie every year, Perth every year, sometimes twice in both of those. We'd be, at all of the states, absolutely all of the states. I had to go off and do one in New Zealand once, which is just a nightmare with all your gear, So, and Terry couldn't actually do that tour, so he didn't come. But I had to get a subby to sort of depth. So it was, everything. But really, that experience said, let's not just get on a plane and go somewhere outside where you've got to change money. I think you had to change money at that stage.
No.
But everyone, non-stop, literally non-stop, Darwin, everywhere. God, took our doggies with us everywhere. They all came everywhere.
Yeah.
Go and get Pippi too.
All right.
Go on.
All right, I'll just be a second.
Look at this, wait for this.
Oh, it's
This
getting
is
Oh.
well, this has been over a span of about 30 years, so these aren't the same dogs. But
so he's had the same breed for 30 years.
yeah, no, not the same.
Oh, hello,
Pippi,
That's
Pippi.
Pippi,
Pippi the Chihuahua.
Pippi,
Pippi the Chihuahua. Oh, that's adorable.
loves people, not interested in competition like other dogs, but loves people.
Yeah.
No, that's a great attitude to have. Who wants to compete with all those showboat wannabe dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, nasty.
I'll put her back down again. She's only had 23 hours sleep yesterday.
Yeah.
23 hours. Oh, that's a dog's life.
Not a,
Why get her up for one more?
they're gone straight back to sleep on the chair.
What about the dog?
I have to show you. We got. Here we are at our place. We've got a couple of couches. All right. I don't know if you can see this. One couch is this. I'll tell you this couch. Yes, already there.
Oh, we're getting an exclusive house tour.
There's the couch. That's the dog's couch. Did you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. And this is the other couch in the house. That belongs to the guitar couch.
The guitar couch.
So occasionally Terry and I get to
Sit down.
pinch a chair if the guitars and the dogs don't mind.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yes.
That's so you guys have oh god, I'm lost for what I was about to say next. I was about to say no, that's okay. You two are very, very, because I didn't expect it to be this wonderful.
Oh, we're just wonderful.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So
what else do we?
Oh, what else? Yeah. So that's so for you, Gillian. So you've performed. What was your first exposure? I mean, not actually. I was about to ask the same question I asked at the start. I meant, what was your first exposure in the professional industry? So, like, what was your first major gig, and what happened since then?
Oh, I suppose. I mean, there were a lot of leading up to it. You just have to get up there. People ask, how you learn to sing, and I have no idea how you learn to sing, but you just got, if you want to do something, that's the only way you're going to do it, is just do it, So I would get up. I got to know an amazing guitarist, very much like George Benson before George Benson became popular here, a guy called Johnny Nicole, and he played with a lot of jazz guys around Sydney, and I used to, go along to the gigs and stuff like that, and he was just lovely enough to say, yeah, come on, get up. And so I got up and sang, and he was amazing, because he helped me hone not just singing, but which sort of just I love doing anyway, but working with the microphone, which is crucial. You can be amazing at something and still stuff it up if you don't work the microphone nicely. You know what I mean? A lot of people come in close when they sing loud and go back when they're singing soft. It's the absolute opposite of what you need to do. You have to do your own sound system by coming up close when you're singing something quiet, and then belting, going back to belt it out. And I'm a belt outer, so So that, I think that helped me more than anything. You know, the ability to sing seemed to be naturally there, but selling it and packaging it in a way that didn't, you know. I mean, it's really offensive if somebody's too loud and you're listening, you know, and then they're
Oh
breaking
yeah.
speakers,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's actually very important. So I got to hone a whole lot of stuff thanks to guys like that in the early days, and then through him, he had a thing on one of the midday shows. There was a couple of midday shows. Keep Pace with Harriet or something was one ages ago, and there was I think Ernie Sigley, a few like that, and we did some live stuff on that with John. And he was really, I must say, the reason. He lives up in Caloundra or somewhere now, but he was the reason that I became very confident with just getting up and doing whatever was required. So, but from then, I was in a bar somewhere in Redfern or somewhere, and I'd started to work, just get up and sing with various bands, and one of them was the band that Phil Emmanuel had. And anyway, we're just doing some songs in this funny little pub, Glebe or something like that. And then this guy came in. His name was John Brommel. And John Brommel ran Rondor Music, and he signed me up to Polygram. And so then we became kind of a serious band. And well, we were a silly band, but we were in the business of doing stuff. And Phil was always great fun. And I ended up with Phil on guitar, Peter Kekell, who we've lost, on piano, amazing. Greg Plimmer on drums, and we had it ended up with Greg Plimmer on drums, and Chris Haig on bass.
They're all sort of, I don't know, people.
No, you wouldn't. No, but so that was generally the lineup. Became the lineup of Gillian Eastoe and King Dog, and then I think we did the first big gig we did. It was at the Horden Pavilion with Air Supply and John English and us and somebody I can't remember, and that was just, here we go. You know, I mean, it was amazing. But and then there followed work. We did gigs with Dragon and Midnight Oil and oh God, heaps. Started doing stuff on television, and that was, and the band split up. That was late 70s. We went on Countdown a couple of times. So I was on Countdown.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what was it like being on Countdown? Because back then it would have been just one of the biggest things if you were an artist, one of the biggest shows to be on.
You know, the weirdest thing about when you do something at a certain age, and I was in my 20s, you just you kind of take it for granted. You think, oh yeah, I'm on Countdown now. But you look back on it and go, shit, that wasn't too bad, was it? So it's a very strange thing at the time. You really don't really understand the magnitude of what's beginning to happen in your life. Does that make any sense? It's
it's kind of like, we're young, we're free, we're just enjoying it, and then it's kind of like you look back at it and it's like, oh wow, that was like aired around the country. It's like the whole country saw that. Like,
and it was a great clip. There was one I did where I had to mime it, which they often did that for a while. No, it was horrible. But the one, and that was just me. But the one with Phil and the band was called Something About You, and that was around about 1978 to 1979. With James Rain, I think, was the host of the show at the time. And so, but yeah, we were travelling everywhere. We used to go down. We travel all over as a band, and Melbourne a lot, because really Melbourne had it over.
We love the arts in Melbourne. We really do.
That's exactly right. It was, if you wanted to go and do stuff, you went there. We used to do, what was it called? Macy's Hotel, was it? In Toorak, Macy's. It was.
Won't be there now.
No, won't be there now. But oh my God, we used to land in Melbourne, and then we'd or drive or whatever, and then we'd hire a rent-a-wreck in Melbourne, and then we'd turn up to a gig, and we'd all run from the back of the car over the top of the car down the bonnet, because nobody gave a damn what happened to the car while you were renting it, and then run and could do all sorts of chaotic things like that. And that was amazing. There were so many terrific gigs in Melbourne then we'd do Adelaide, we'd do Queensland. The gigs were just coming all the time. It was really good. We did a lot of stuff in North Sydney where there were some good gigs, like the Orient Hotel at the Rocks, and then there was the Governor's Pleasure at the Rocks, where that was just an amazing place. I don't even know if that's still going now, but no, it was just really good. It was really good. It's been a great life. Still happening. Still good.
That's a great way to look at it. And I was going to say, yeah, you would have, because you two have been around the country, you would have seen a lot of great landmarks that definitely more than me. I would have loved to have because there's certain parts of the country where, like, sometimes I often think about, like, whether it's better to fly or to drive, and I feel like sometimes, yeah, if you don't like the wait, you would fly. But then if you want to drive and you want to see, like, the real country, it's like you really start to. That's what I like about the driving part too. I don't like the length of the drive, but I love the landmarks on the way.
Well, it's the same old adage. It's the journey, not the destination. And Terry and I in Nullarbor many times, especially around September, we used to try and make sure that our agents booked the school shows around September, because that's when the whales are having their babies at the head of Bight. You know, the bitey bit in Australia down the bottom. Well, that's called at the bottom of Australia.
On the Nullarbor.
You know, on the Nullarbor. That's that part that there's like a cut, like somebody took a bite out of it. That's called.
Oh that. Yeah. Oh, you mean Port Phillip Bay?
No, just it's the Nullarbor Plains. Really starts from about Ceduna, until you reach Western Australia. That's the Nullarbor Plains. It's an amazing stretch of road. It's one patch of it is how long? The longest stretch of straight road.
Yeah, it's the longest road in the world, straight road.
Absolutely.
147 kilometres or something without a bend.
Mm.
Yeah. And see, that would be a great trip. That'd be a great trip too, because then you're like on the coast.
Yeah. Well, every so often you'd be. It makes the Great Ocean Road looks like a little tiny model.
Oh, when you stand on the edge.
It really does. You get to these areas and they're not fenced off. Well, it wasn't years ago.
Oh,
you know, like you could walk right to the edge if you're mad enough.
But the edge is like really high, isn't it?
Yeah, way higher than the Great Ocean Road.
Oh,
and
gosh,
it is quite. You can take photographs of all the indentations of the coastline for miles. We got photographs which are just incredible.
Like a huge teeth mark. Bite. It really is. But I know as we went across the Nullarbor, it takes about 3 days to drive it. And, you know, yes, at the time you go, oh, bloody hell, you know, you come over a rise and there's just more. But the fact is, it's absolutely fascinating retrospectively. So when you do drive around Australia, I'd rather do that and go anywhere in the world. Australia is it's just beautiful, but you have to drive it to do that, you know. And we had to drive it with guitars and PAs and dogs and all sorts of stuff. So, you know, a lot of gear in the car. And Terry Gilly. But I survived. But the fact is that, you know, we would have been, you know, denied access to a lot of things by being having to park safely, having dogs, you know, and we still look back and it takes our breath away, the beauty of it all. And it was the time, like right around Australia, we went with a caravan doing school shows for Nexus Arts. And we started in earnest in Townsville, and then all the way around. And, you know, like that's when we were doing all those shows. And, the beauty of the whole place. As we were coming down Western Australia, all the wildflowers are out, and some of them are so tall they hang over the actual road, the highway. And there's no way you can do that with an airplane. You just got to go, look, all right, it's going to take a while, but it's going to take my breath away too. It's worth it. It's well worth it. Incredible.
It's an amazing country. I mean, when you think you've got the, the Alps and all that, Mount Kosciuszko, and you've got the vast deserts and everything. It's quite. Then Tasmania is another thing on its own, which is incredible. So,
we did Tasmania every year. Yeah. Fantastic. You know, it's incredible. I say don't fly, drive.
Great. That's a great way to look at it. I think, if you want to enjoy the country, definitely drive. But most people tend to not want to do 9 hours on the road.
Well, everybody wants everything so quick now. You know, I mean, when Captain Cook came to Australia, it took him 2 years. I mean, if we phone someone now and don't get them, we get really cheesed off.
Captain Cook must have said, "Oh, not another ocean." Oh, bugger.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but you do it. You're young, but you just do it. It's it's the best way to see it. Get in a silly little caravan and
get a caravan, drive around the country. Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most cities in the world all look the same, really, when you're in it. But when you get out into the countryside, I mean, I toured Europe a lot of times, and that was another amazing place. You could really drive like 100 miles, like 100 kilometers, and you got a whole different language, a whole different, it's just incredible, a whole different way of life. Germany and France, for instance, are so different. And it's kind of, that was the amazing thing about Europe, whereas Australia, you got this vast amount of change of the actual scenery.
More subtle, I suppose, because you take time to get to it because it's all the same country. But like we were up in the Northern Territory, and we were doing a school show in this little place called Wyndham, and it's right up the top. And it was mostly full of Indigenous kids and the most amazing teachers. And at the end, the kids were really excited after the show because they were going to do an interview like this with the students. So the kids were there with all their microphones and asking us questions like this. But God, it was so cute. It was just so cute. And we actually love doing, we've done Melbourne Grammar and all those, but we love doing those tiny little schools in the middle of nowhere. Kids are just... come up and show Terry's their air guitar. They want to be like him. They saw a bit about him, and now he's here. Oh, we love him.
But the parents used to turn up to the gigs because they never got any entertainment.
Yeah.
You go to an outback thing, and then all of a sudden, a load of tractors would turn up with mum and dad, and they'd have a big food thing going on. And
so we'd kind of. Well, we had to do that when we were doing the ABC for Kids gigs. You kind of worked the adults into it too, and the kids without offending either side. It was
I feel like those would be like, particularly when you two are on. I reckon that's when the parents would have a lot of fun, and that's where we come to the ABC for Kids stuff, because you've both performed with various artists at the ABC for Kids. Particularly you, Terry. You happened to work with a lot of artists back then.
Yeah, I did. I did a lot of. I actually produced quite a few records for various people. I can't even think of half of it at the moment. But the Wiggles, I wasn't producing it, but I played guitar and some synthesizer parts on their first 10 albums.
Their first 10 albums,
Yeah, he never did the shows with them. But
they did ask me. In fact, they did a tour where they started to use people, but I was always so busy, and I didn't want to be doing that. I think I was just already tied up doing something. No. I actually recorded an album my own album while I was doing the Wiggles and all the other people, George Spartels, all those people. I did an album called it was actually a Times Table album. I set it to music, and it's gone nearly double platinum. Still selling.
Well, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about because I had that on the channel as well. Yeah, it's a great album. I think I might have remembered that when I was in school. So I just think Don's voice would ring bells 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 3. It's even though that's wrong.
Oh,
But I used to get the lyrics wrong. 2 times 3 is 7. Oh, sorry.
oh God. There you go.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, so you two, so you both performed various ABC for Kids concerts. So how did that happen for you, Gillian? Like, was it just like, did they ask you if you wanted to perform for kids, or was it more of a personal decision? Like, oh, I'm going to make music for children now.
No, nothing's ever just come around like a lightning flash like that ever. It's just sort of grown into that direction. But one of the reasons I stopped, I quit the band, was that I was turning about 30 something, so 30. And I wanted to have kids. But my very first job on the planet was as a preschool teacher on the Northern Beaches in Sydney. And when it comes to kids or animals, I have absolutely no problems with any of them. It's people that scare me. It's the middle lot. So I'd had so much experience with kids before I got signed up to Polygram. And then after I had the kids, I think it was John Spence. He was the manager of the Wiggles eventually. He wasn't then. But he was doing some stuff for ABC for Kids. I think Terry was doing stuff for the Sing books, weren't you?
Yeah, the Sing books.
And John Spence was doing those. And so he said, do we want to do... Well, he asked me, I think it's before Terry was doing stuff with me. He asked me if I'd like to sing a song for a set of albums the ABC were doing called the 0 to 9. You know,
the 0 to 9 series, yeah.
So I think that he got me to do horror movie by Skyhooks for the 7-year-old one, I think, for 7.
Yeah, I listened to that too because it was up on it was I think it's back up on Spotify now, but I've listened to it and it's a very great cover, by the way.
God. It was once again you just go, oh yeah, whatever, and you don't realise, but then they liked that, and the ABC asked me if I'd like to make an album, do an album. So I wrote. So I've ended up in the end, to cut it short, I did 3 albums. So I wrote over 300 songs or something for it. Some of them were covers, but most of them I wrote myself. And then Terry was there doing, because he also knew John Spence, he was in doing a lot of the guitar work. And I would say basically that's how the combination of us started to meld into a bloody good plan. And so then we started touring. That was before the Wiggles were sort of had begun. And so that's kind of how that came about. And so in the end, I was signed up by the ABC to do these shows for kids and be part of their stable. So they had a stable of artists, and George and Monica and all those guys, Don Spencer, and they then decided they would take it to clubs. So they would choose 3 of their artists at any given time to go on a tour of a run of clubs around Sydney or everywhere actually. I think we went to Queensland and everywhere. So Victoria, yeah. So we started touring with them, and then and I had by that stage I had the kids, and a lot of the songs were really directly as a result of my life with my 2 kids, Jessie and Angus. And Jessie and Angus were on the cover of a few of their. There was a
Jelly Bean Jar, I think.
Yeah, they're on Jelly Bean Jar. They were on like the ABC put out a what do you call it, generic
rock and roll. I think that was the rock and roll. See, I upload these albums on my channel to help bring back the nostalgia for many of my viewers, and I think that's the one you're talking about. That was the rock and roll one there,
and a country one, I think, yellow.
Oh, country, yeah, Country Kids, I think that's what it's called.
So that was Jess and Angus, and then after a while, they both started to sort of get in on the videos and things like that. And then by the third album, it was called Gillian Eastoe's Extra Awesome Intergalactical Expedition into the Far Reaches and Back. So it just became
Better than me.
it just became known as the Intergalactical album.
The Intergalactical album, yeah.
And Dougie Mulray, we made a video of it, which is I'm still proud of that, because I did all the props, the portable props, everything in that. My little doggies at the time, my old Scottish Terrier McTavish, and my little dog Gizmo. Everybody was, and Dougie Mulray's 2 kids, Tommy and Rosie, and Jessie and Angus, and a little kid called Jenna. And then right at the end, they stuck on a thing with Terry and I doing a little ending piece with some kids. So that was the Intergalactical video for ABC, and I was still pretty proud of that. But I was just pumping out songs because I was asked to, So it sort of just happens when the request is made. Like Terry said, so we just come up with it, and we go back to sleep for a couple of years.
No, it's been an interesting kind of career, really. I mean, I left school to play, and my first job was playing in a professional band. And I was 15. I left school a year early, and basically I've been playing music for a living all that time. And I always think to myself I'm lucky, because it was my hobby when I was a kid, and my hobby became my job. And I don't think many people get that in their life.
That goes for both.
It's the hardest thing too. It's the hardest thing when you have to, like, you're going to make a living, but if you enjoy what you're doing, then that's a life well lived.
It is. And, funnily enough, after we were doing the school shows, which ran over 30 years, we do, adult gigs on the weekends and stuff like that, or whatever. But through that whole time, people that we'd worked with who were, they were entertainers, but in clubs for, adults. And at first I remember a lot of them laughed at us, saying, "Oh my God, you're working with kids." And then I'll tell you, a few years later, they're all saying, "How do you get into this school show business?" I tell you, it was very lucrative. I was like, "Oh no, I don't know, a lot of perseverance, really." But we sort of, I think that Terry and I have been the luckiest people on the planet, because really we seem to have been at the beginning of every wave, and then by the time, and we've already sort of moved on to the next stage or idea, just as it's waning. So the school shows now are just absolutely impossible. The amount of security and the teachers are, I'm sorry, but they're all reading. They used to be involved in the show. A teacher used to turn up, and we'd always write a part in for the teachers, but it made them more realistic for the kids, So some teachers took it as that they were being laughed at, but the good ones, they knew they were being laughed with, and there's a big difference. We never made fools of them. And the kids just, they loved it when their teachers would get up and act silly. And now they might send in one teacher with a whole lot of kids. She's got her iPad and she's not even seen anything you've done, or he. And you had to sign a million things to get in. We have to pay. You have to pay every different state for. They're working with children, and all the information you do. I'm very rarely political, but this is how it all became. The test and tag stuff, all this stuff, and then all the information you gave for the working with children check went to the federal police. However, and which is a national. That's okay. That's a national system. But we had to do it for each state, so that's just money raking. You had to pay every state for their own personal one. And the federal police had the information that was applicable to every state in Australia. So this is how hard it became, and how impossible, and how, the test and tagging. I remember we did a school in Hunter Valley, and before we did it, the woman said, "Well, you better have your tests and tags done, or we won't let you perform." I said, "Okay," so we got the test and tag done. So we turned up, and this receptionist, who I think ran the world, said absolutely nothing about it. We were waiting, and I said, no, we're going to wait here until she comes and checks our test and tag, because we had to pay for it. She never showed up. We did the show because we liked the show.
Anyway,
But yeah, I mean, that's why the school thing, it's become very hard. Some things just, the itineraries,
it's also public liability, and also when you went into schools, you could hang around with the kids and have a chat. But you can't hang around with kids anymore, especially for teachers.
Yeah, no.
And
It's weird.
It is weird, actually. Yeah.
You can't use the kids' toilets. You have to go to the staff room and use the teachers' ones. Well, I used to just go into the boys' loo and have a wee and come back out again. But now you can't do anything. It's really strange.
And they take a photo of you as you go in, and it's black and white. You look like a criminal no matter who you
like
are.
Al Jolson.
Australia's most wanted. But it's just a shame. It just really spoilt the fun in school shows, and we were just all about fun. We had such a good time with them, and that's why the little out of towners were the best sort of kids shows to do. But I wouldn't want to be doing it now.
But the first school shows, we were one of the first people to do them, and there was no rules and regulations then, and they all went down great. But as soon as you start making a success, some person in government says, "Oh, we can make a bit of money out of these people." Well,
seems to be the way.
We've got to be, pass this test.
It's just a shame. It's the killing of fun. But no, and like, despite all of that, pedophilia and bullying, all the things they're trying to stop, they still happen. It's
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really nail it down, and I guess it's a shame as well, because
it is a shame.
It ruins it for everyone as well.
It does.
Yeah,
it's like dogs on the beach.
One dog bites someone on the beach. There's no dogs.
No dogs on the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, it's the rusty nail. The rusty door handle. Something gets the oil, but it's a shame because it's just become too serious, and so at this stage, like I said, we were on the wave of it all being fantastic, and happy to follow the rules because they were doable rules, and
well, COVID ended it for everyone.
That's true.
No one went into
easily
all over, and everything stopped.
Unfortunately, we were tired by then. We were tired of touring,
We were tired anyway.
Yeah. So we were lucky. That's why I say we're the luckiest people in the world. And now here we are in Whoopi, and it always takes a little while. We've only been here about 2 and a bit years, and it takes a little while to grow into the community. And this is an amazing community, and very welcoming. And we're already now doing gigs, but not only that, choosing them because we don't want to do a lot. We used to be 2 and 3 a weekend, 5 sometimes we did, and now it's just lovely. We pick the ones we know are going to be fun. Everybody's great. The staff are great. The audiences are great, and doesn't that make us lucky? We just do them when we feel like them. Now it's really good. Yeah.
That's great, and I think I like what you said about there being part of a community. I think that's one of the most important things that we need in our life. It's just a sense of community, and I think the fact that you guys have that in the country, that's wonderful.
It's magic, and I think it's coming back. I think people are realising. Everybody's been. I know Telstra like to say it's how we communicate, but it's kind of how we've stopped communicating, and kids are just stuck into the iPhones. I believe schools now are starting to take devices away from the classroom.
Well, you can thank ChatGPT for that one.
What?
ChatGPT, the AI generator app.
Yeah.
All the AI stuff, yeah.
Well, honestly, my nephew, my grandson was caught by school getting AI to do his homework because he's intelligent enough to figure it out.
Well, makes me happy that I graduated before all that happened. So yeah.
Well, we never graduated.
No.
Decided to become musicians. Here we are.
Still waiting for my certificate. Where is it?
Yeah, it's a bit scary though. It's yeah, you don't want that to ruin education. I mean, it's going to be inevitable at one point too, which is sad.
I don't want it to ruin communication. That's
Oh no, that's the scary part. The communication. Yeah,
that is the scariest part. They think they're communicating, but they're not. It's a device is communicating with them, and if you don't press like, apparently you're no good.
Yeah.
Apparently that's your judge in life. It's weird.
But it's important to know that it's never going to replace the human brain or come to that same capacity. Like we have so much unlimited potential. That's why it's
and the more you use the device, the less we use our unlimited potential.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Oh,
well, we're too dumb to use it, so that's fine by us.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank God.
Thank God. Exactly. So with the what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So with the so you and Terry had both performed with the ABC for kids concerts, many different artists, George Bartels, Monica Trapica, and even the Wiggles. Let me ask you, what was it like back in the early 90s when the Wiggles were starting out, and it was before they had their skivvies and they were doing the shows with you at the ABC for kids concerts? Did you think in the moment, hey, these guys might actually take off?
No, they were just like us. They were just good.
We just got on well. I always got on well with them.
Yeah. They had bum fluff when they started with us.
I played on a lot of their... they did solo albums. I think Anthony did and Greg, and I played on their ones, and they just became good mates.
Greg loved Elvis stuff, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he has the third, I think, his second or third largest collection in the world.
Yes. He's lovely, Greg and Murray.
No, they were all good guys. I mean, it was. I mean, I don't think anyone expects. It's a bit like the Beatles. You didn't expect it to get as big as it did.
Yeah.
It's like AC/DC. Like he's the ugliest little bugger in the world with a guitar. And he's a legend. Kids love him. And he's like this ratty old half-bald guy now.
And I still love him. That's another thing we learned. We learned to embrace our age, as we went through it all.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of trying to hide it, we did I think we had to do a Women's Day or something at one of the shows. Oh, God, those are memories. We had, it was at a Hunter Hill private girls' school or something.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, we were doing our high school rock and roll show, which was good fun. And then at one stage, I don't know why, but I think it was our agents, Nexus Arts, Sue Russell, said to me, I said to her once, "So we're getting too old to do these shows." And she said, "Oh, don't be stupid." She said, "Embrace your age." I said, "Oh, okay." So, and I thought, well, she's the agent, she's happy to book us as we get older. That's great. And she was. Rob and Sue Russell, unbelievable people. And so I said somewhere in the middle of the rock and roll show, well, I think at the time I was about 65 or something, wasn't I?
Maybe.
I think it was about 65. And I said, well, I'm 65 and I still love doing what I do. And the whole audience of girls and teachers stood up and applauded for ages. It was so, oh, God, you're right, Admit it. We're both 72 now. Yeah. We feel very good. I think.
Although I can tell you one thing, I never thought I'd be the same age as old people.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
I will shut up. You ask us questions. We don't.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay. I was gonna let you finish. I was gonna continue on with the ABC for Kids. Sorry, I know it's called. I know there's a lot that we have to talk about, but it is called the Joey Wiggle Experience, and I know a lot of our listeners will remember you for that stuff. But I thought I think this one's for the Wiggles community, because there's a lot of us who really become so upset. I mean, it's a fascinating niche community that we have. And I think we just become super obsessed about who worked with who and, who did this and that. But I thought I might direct this one to you, Terry, because I know you've worked with the Wiggles on their earliest albums, particularly ones like Big Red Car and Wake Up Jeff, for an example. But For you, Terry, which would be your favorite? I think, in your opinion, what was your favorite album or song to work on for the
Well,
Wiggles?
I would say the first album was my favourite because it was all new then.
Or the debut album?
Yeah, and I think it was a lot of fun because everyone was new to each other, and it was actually a good fun album to be part of.
Wait, were you there? I didn't know you were there.
On what one?
Oh, the first album, or was it the
No, the first
one with the
album
big red
that I
car?
played on.
No, the first album. Oh, you don't know what that was?
Yeah,
Oh, Big Red Car?
yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I mean, I just think that we were getting to know. Everyone had a sense of humour.
And we're innocent, we had no idea how it was all going to go.
And we playing little jokes all the time.
Right.
And so it made the whole thing, unfortunately, go very quick, like the recording. But it was quite a funny experience. And when they asked me to come back and do more, I was loving it. But the initial memory of doing their things was the Big Red Car thing. Yeah.
And we had on the tours, we did lots of silly things.
I was always doing silly things. When the Wiggles, because I was behind stage and we had all sort of weird things. I had a microphone. I used to blow up a balloon and, you get that weird sound if you hold it. It goes, and I used to go like on the microphone and they'd be performing and I suddenly hear that sound. And one time they had a guy dressed up as the koala, was it?
Oh, so Kim the Koala.
Oh, Kim the Koala.
Yeah, well, the guy that used to do that
was an actor, wasn't he?
He was an actor.
Was it a guy? Because we were watching the ABC for Kids concert and Monica was at I think it was one of them in December, and we believe that she may have been the one in the costume, or am I completely wrong here?
Well, they probably changed. I always had to have an actor in them.
Yeah, well, one actor was a guy called Paul. I can't remember his surname because he was actually doing a few TV commercials at the time, but he was inside the koala. Anyway, what the funny thing was, we all knew that was his job. Anyway, the Wiggles were on stage and doing this dance routine at the end, and we always did muck around. Anyway, Paul, who was in the koala, got out the koala suit and ran on stage. He was all wrapped up in stuff to make him look fat and started dancing with the Wiggles. Well, the Wiggles looked at him and thought, what's he doing out of the thing? And then I'd put the Kinder koala suit on and I got out and I was dancing too. And they were wondering who the hell's in this koala suit.
So there was two of them on stage.
Yeah.
And then there was honestly endless stuff like that. But one time, because Terry was supposed to steal my jelly bean jar all the time, and his kids would go, and then he'd sort of put his hands behind his back. But one time we were coming towards the end of the show, and the kids started yelling, and I'm going, Terry, is that you again? And Terry's just standing there, no, it wasn't me, which he normally did. But I suddenly, and about the third time I looked at it, was the whole of the Wiggles. The four guys had my jelly bean jar and they ran off stage. No, that time when Paul was, he came out in the sort of the underwear. I was in the middle of singing at Rooty Hill RSL. I was singing one of my songs, which is called "That's Disgusting." And then he just slothed across the stage behind me, and I'm looking around. Terry's laughing, and I'm going, "What are you laughing at?" And there, and the whole audience, the adults, were just in stitches as Paul slothed across the stage with the big belly, just all like pants, And we all used to play endlessly stupid tricks on each other when we got to the last show, and it was always good fun.
Actually, I just remember something else, that one of the guitars that I always used on the Wiggles recordings, I actually sold when we moved up this way, because I was actually sponsored by Fender Guitars. I had more guitars that I needed, and
still has.
And I decided to sell some because I just don't play them. And I advertised this one as the guitar used on lots of Wiggles recordings. And this guy come from miles away to buy it. He was a real Wiggles fan, and he saw the guitar on some video clip that I'd done. And he had to have it. So he travelled miles and paid me for his guitar. And he doesn't play. He just wanted the guitar. He's got all
that is dedication. My God.
Yeah.
Oh God. No, it's a
Yeah.
bit. We had a lot of fun. It was just fun then. It was just a lot of fun.
Oh, so that must have been a special time. But for you, for the both of you, particularly you, Gillian and Terry, what was it like? How what was your reaction when? Because I know even after you performed in the ABC concerts with the Wiggles and all the other artists, how did you react in 5 or 10 years later when they started to become really super popular around the country and even over to America? And it's like, it must have been one of those, oh, wow, we performed with them before they became famous.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, it
yeah,
was. It was. It was good.
But by
People,
that time,
yeah,
it
people
was.
wouldn't believe that I'd actually play guitar until I
No.
showed them the album covers. You know, they.
Oh, that must have been a hard thing to be like 10 years later. Oh, we performed with the Wiggles. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. Who could perform with them? They're famous.
We've got proof. We've got proof.
We've got proof, yeah. there's
But,
proof on the screen right now.
That was and once again, by the time they'd become pretty much the only act with ABC for Kids, we'd already moved on to doing the school shows. So,
Oh, it was great. We occasionally bumped into them at airports.
Yeah.
We did often bump into them at airports, and
it was always a big hug time. Yeah, but we were already moved on and doing the school shows, which we just loved doing. You know, it was all creative. We had to come up with Terry would have to come up with all the music, and I'd have to make all the props and everything for the primary school ones and everything, and we'd get stuff together. The high school ones were full on rock.
And you couldn't actually mention it in primary schools that you had worked with the Wiggles. Otherwise, we used to get asked just to play Wiggles tunes. You know.
That would suck.
They deserved it. It was they hit the right market. They had the right look. There were 4 lovely blokes, and John Spence did their management, and you couldn't get a more determined person than John, which can work in all sorts of ways, but it certainly worked for the Wiggles. Yeah, so it's like all that stuff that just, especially with a group of people that just have come together in the cosmos at the right time. It's just, it's something nobody's really got a hold on or a handle on or any control over. And, they can blow it or they can make it work. And, the Wiggles made it work.
Yeah, they really have. It's so fascinating because it's like, because I don't know what the odds were for being, because when you were recording the ABC for Kids albums, were you told about the likelihood of how many records they typically would sell? Because the Wiggles really exceeded that, and they became I think they sold over. I think it went platinum. Their first album went platinum or double platinum.
Yeah.
Which I think is very usually rare for children's album for the ABC in that time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean it's definitely.
Well, other than the 2 times table.
That one should go double platinum. just for influencing me too.
You have no control, do you? A 2 times table one got double platinum, but it's a great world. Music's a great world. It's just great.
I think the Wiggles had a lot of things on side, whether they knew it or not. But I always thought that 4 young guys being the Wiggles is going to be far more sellable than 4 young girls, because it's mums that take the kids to the concerts.
Yeah.
And it's therefore young, good-looking guys and tall, and there's a slight edge to that. If it had been 4 girls, dads don't take kids to concerts like that.
No.
They rather go down to booze.
In general, and generally, then it was just very much mums, and they all loved to fall in love with the fellas up there on stage. God knows, Terry had to fight them all.
Oh, I'm fighting them off still.
Well, even John Spence said to me, and he was a great mate. I used to live next door to him. And John said, "Gilly, it's just not easy to sell a white Australian woman in music these days. That's the way it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it was. Would you, if you were, let's say you were young now and in the world today, do you think you would still have a chance doing a children's album? Because I've listened to the music of you singing these children's songs, and I like the style it is, because it's very silly, and I think that's what everyone wants. They want silly songs. They don't want songs that are like serious or anything like that. We just want to have fun.
That's it. That's what music should be about, especially music like that. I mean, it's kind of, even rock and roll bands that have got to have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of hard. I mean, you get great performers like Phil Collins, and he's one of the funniest blokes. He really is. I met him a few times, and people like that have a great sense of humor. It comes off on stage to the audience.
It's attitude, yeah. It's not just the ability to sing or play an instrument. It's the way you work the audience that works. And, you know, that's in our case, we're just happy to try it. We've tried we've done retirement village, we've done everything.
Yeah.
We've done, you name it, we've done the weirdest silly things, and because we're up for it, you know. But we have fun still now. People come and watch us as a duo because we just get a lot of laughs out of the audience. Terry will do ridiculous things on the guitar, but it's I think it's all in the attitude. The guys looked good, you know. The four boys, the colours they chose. It's more than it's the whole. It's the package that works, and the personalities if they're going to have fun. You know, like it is. That's what people want. They like, you know, sad songs are okay, but but self-indulgent stuff doesn't really work, you know. And a lot of the songs I wrote came from experiences with my kids.
Yeah.
Then we had one. I did one that was sad, called "I Got a Smack Today," and it, you know, I know, but you should listen to it. It was, you know, to me, there's a difference between a smack on a bum for being repeatedly naughty when you were asked not to, and a huge difference between that and a belting. And it was basically about that, and the fact that I didn't do it in anger. I did it because I had said, if you do it again, you know, that was the third warning, I'm going to have to give you a smack. And this was my daughter Jessie, and then we both looked at each other. I gave her a smack on the bum, which is a smack. It's nothing. It's no more nothing. Yeah. And we looked at each other. We just hugged each other and cried together. It was beautiful, and it was an understanding between the two of us that, oh, I see what you mean, you know. And I rarely needed to do it after that. And I get a bit anti people putting it in the same category as a beating. It's nothing. Yeah,
no, it's nothing like that at all. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. It's like you did that. It's like you don't do it out of I don't like you. You do it out of I love you and I want you to have the best life possible.
I'm not doing it because I'm angry. I'm doing it to protect you.
Yeah, exactly.
It is going to be dangerous later on, you know, like you don't just run out over the road, okay? And you listen to somebody, and it isn't about that. And I think it's a sad missing in communities that, you know, like every animal in the world will bite their young one if it does something stupid or give it a kick in the bum or something like that. You know, it's quite a natural response, but it's got nothing to do with the beating. That is just part of this seriousness that's coming over everything now, that they make it indistinguishable, and it's not. There are so many different shades of in human beings, you know.
Yeah. But look, even if I was gonna add more to that, but I'm thinking maybe not, because I think it's just kind of like I said, you do it out of love. I was gonna say whether or not people do it today or not still, or whether it's still acceptable today, you cannot deny that most people will just do it a little bit out of love.
Absolutely, and they, you know, and I think that's when everything's all categorized now. You know, I think. I think if you saw somebody really whack a kid, yes, step in.
No, like really, like smack or punch, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, but you know, like there's nothing like it, you know. And if you listen to the song, you'll see it's from Jessie's side, and that she wishes she hadn't pushed it that far, and that, we both had a cry together. That's basically what it's about. So I used to do that in our very early ones before the Wiggles were doing stuff, maybe even then too. And then it became controversial, so it's not much point. But it's really the only sad one I'd ever written, and it was written with love. It was written with an understanding from the kids' point of view. But that was what that was about. Yeah. But fun rock.
Fun rock, yeah.
and
something for the parents too. Yeah, you want something, because I think honestly, from what I've learned about children's entertainment, particularly today, what most shows fail to do is have something that the parents can enjoy. Like you look at one of the biggest shows on the planet right now, Bluey, which is just the most loved show everywhere. It's so loved, and it is in Queensland, which is also great because it gives Brisbane a lot of publicity around the world. And I think what's great about it is that it gives something for everyone to enjoy. It gives kids something to enjoy because the characters are fun, a lot of personalities. But I think it really is aimed more at adults for some reason. I particularly enjoy it because it has a lot of comfort. And I think it's shows like that we need more of in the world. Like, we need something that parents can sit through and enjoy, have a laugh themselves, because life's already hard enough for us.
Yeah, but it's about being inclusive, which is, we had the most fun when we were doing all the shows with the Wiggles and the guys, because we all knew that the parents could sit there, and just listen to the kids song, or they could see that you were human too. And something else that we all of us tried to do was remember that there's a kid in every one of those adults out there, and they like to be acknowledged. They'd like the kid inside them to be acknowledged too. And in a way, all our shows were the kids inside us being acknowledged as well. To be honest.
Yeah, see, that's a true entertainer. That is a true entertainer. They think about everyone, not just the kids. They think about everyone. And I think that is honestly the way to live a great life, for example, in your case, and to also have everyone be happy. Not like in an obnoxious way, but in a way that we can all enjoy and have a laugh as family. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't alienate people with your happiness. You include them.
You got to spread it around, not just for one particular group. Exactly.
Yeah. No, and that was, actually, because all of us were adults doing a show, it was good for us too. It inspired us, for kids to learn that adults are human and can be fun and can actually get in and enjoy it too. But if you exclude the parents and you're absolutely ferociously zoned in on the kids, then they're not getting a good lesson from that, because they just see mum and dad yawning and looking at their watch or whatever. When they see their parents laughing and have a good time too, then it's that you couldn't be more inclusive than that. That your parents actually like what you like. They're enjoying it too. It's good. And I think we all did that in those shows. I think I was very proud of the attitude we all had in those shows. We were funny people, and we all knew how to allow that or make sure that was in everything we did. All of us, all of the guys in ABC.
Yeah, must have been. I don't know about the ABC as a whole, but I reckon in terms of children's music, they, without a doubt, they were the best. And I think it must have been just what a time to be a performer then as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you can get new people on the block in, like the guys, and you can go, oh my God, But I think we all just said, yeah, they're just great. They're for real guys too. Yep. And that was, that's how it worked in the tours, because they were, they are. And, you'd get people you knew very early in the piece that they were just on some bandwagon they thought would be, they didn't really get it. But you knew they did. We all had fun. We had so much fun. We were just wickedly into enjoying ourselves, walking away proud of what we did, all of us.
And I reckon, honestly, if you compare most of the children's acts today to the ones that were around when you guys were performing, I reckon I would still pick the one where you guys are performing, just because I feel like it's really loose and fun and everyone's enjoying themselves. And I think it's better when you don't talk down as well. And I don't know if that was part of. I was going to say definitely wouldn't be part of the show where you talk down to anyone.
Well, I that was from preschool teaching. You know, like I have quite a natural ability with kids, especially like kinder-aged kids, obviously. But the fact is that they, you don't. I knew it's learned early, or I understood early that you don't. People don't go. And did you have a lovely little lunchy poo today?
Oh, even that's just God.
None of them. And there was never
Really
any of
uncomfortable.
Lunchy, what did you go celery willy? Very nice.
God,
So
stop it.
none of that. None of that. Happy Terry. Terry is happy.
I'm doing
You happy? And talk about happy.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Life.
yeah. That's great. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but yeah, I really like. Again, I really enjoy the performers who are just natural and they don't like act like they're performing for kids. They act like they're performing for everyone. And I think you and Terry have done that very well. And I think a lot of the ABC for kids artists do that pretty well as well. I mean, at least back in those days. I don't know about today, but I reckon back in those days it was much more looser. I'm not sure if it's the same now, but it was definitely more loose.
Oh, it was. It had a loose, and you could be you. And I think now they're just sort of production machines. Now it fits, I mean, there'll always be real people who won't let that happen to them. But once something becomes a market, there's about 1,000 people ready to leap in and market it for you and become your advisors and things like that. We didn't have any advisors. We were just us. And, most of us in those days were just us on those tours with the Wiggles and everything. And that's why they fitted in so well. Because if a new bunch come in and they don't fit in, it's very hard to be inclusive, but it was never hard with those guys. Never. They're lovely. Lovely.
Nah. So I would say so in the end it would all come down to just being a wonderful part of. Would you say that would have been that era? I don't know how to describe it. Which part of your life has been the best by far?
Oh, from birth till now?
Just the whole thing.
Warts and all, Yeah, I mean, that's really hard. Everything.
It is hard because it
was different. Everything was different. Each thing
different
we
age
tried.
group, going through different parts of your life, and I mean, I can't say there's one that stands out more than another to me.
No. But every bit of them was, none of it came easily. Although in a way it did. I don't know how you to put that, but we worked ourselves to the best of our ability for every situation that's come up. We're still doing it, and still loving it. Oh, we ain't finished yet.
That's a great. Not finished yet. Exactly. That definitely should promote you and your. So, are you planning on touring again eventually? Because I know you said you do local shows, but are you just done going around every state?
No, we won't. The only time we're going to be moving around again is on holiday.
Okay, no, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
it's in the hearse.
We'll make sure to promote the holiday shows.
Yeah,
the hearse, they can take us as far as they like. We won't have to deal with
it. No.
So in the because that was a long time talking about the ABC for Kids stuff, because I know that must have been just a special time. But in the last since then, so what have you two had? So you after that you guys performed all around Australia together.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So was that just before, or was it just the whole time?
before what? Before the Wiggles and all of that.
Oh, before the ABC for Kids stuff. So when you
No, we
guys
didn't.
both met,
No, it
were
was
you
after
three?
that. It was after
Oh,
that.
it was okay.
Yeah, it was kind of when the Wiggles, because they always used to send out a bunch of us, and then it just became the Wiggles, which was nobody felt any bitterness about. They just rocketed off, and that was really great. But
Oh, I was going to say sorry because would it have been like, oh dang it, now they're taking all the shows, now we can't do that anymore.
no, we were ready to move on. I think we were ready to move on.
I think
Yeah.
that show is a bit like anything else. They'd had their run, and everyone moved on to do other things. Really,
I think the two of us could never ever just do the same thing forever.
No.
You know, I reckon we're better now than ever. You know, when we go and do a show, we don't have a bracket or anything like that we stick by. We just haven't. Neither of us have the faintest idea what we'll do next, but it just works. And you know, and my voice is actually better than it ever was, even way back then. Everything's better. My confidence, my trust in myself, my trust in Terry. That, you know, whatever we do, we'll make it the best we possibly can, you know, and sometimes audiences, adult audiences, can make that difficult. But we still both strongly believe in not walking away from a gig thinking we could have done better, you know, with what we had, you know. So
because I think everything's different. Every show's different. It's never the same, which is good.
Yeah.
Want it to be the same.
It's versatility that enriches you. You know, where we're doing the same thing. I mean, I don't know how the guys do it, but you know, if they're still doing wiggle stuff, neither of us could continue doing that one thing all the time. So it was good for us to move on and try different stuff, and that's enriched the way we play, the way we live, our attitude to things, and our attitude to embracing any situation that comes along. And to some extent, that makes you unidentifiable in the fame brackets, because you know you were never number one at one particular thing. So, but we proudly give everything a go. And that makes our life far more interesting. That having done it like that,
You've both seemed to have you've both had marvelous careers, and you know it's very wonderful to have you on the show. I honestly don't know how to continue this on, because it looks like you both have honestly just performed around the country and just really enjoyed like life. You might as well just say it like that. Just enjoyed life.
Pretty much.
Yeah, definitely.
We can send you some of our recent stuff if you like.
Oh, I'd love to hear any demos or anything like that you've done. That'd be wonderful. Anyway, we'll probably wrap up shortly, but before we do, I just want to ask both of you each. I'll start with Gillian. What advice would you give to any of our listeners who would want to follow in the same footsteps as you?
Just decide you're going to do it and take it how hard it is. Just know that there's an end result and you want that end result, and keep going till you get it.
That's great advice, Gillian. Wonderful advice. And what about you, Terry? What advice would you give? Well, maybe for anyone who wants to pick up a guitar.
Well, it's basically, you can never. I've always thought that you can never. You could be a fan of some guitar player. Say you liked Eric Clapton, for instance, but you're never going to play like him because you're different in your mind. So if you wanted to, you've got to be yourself. You've got to actually not be don't copy someone. Be yourself. I think that's. And then you'll find it'll be a lot better for you, because you've got to live with yourself, so you don't have to live this life that you're not really living, if you know what I mean. You are actually going to become yourself.
You utilise all the influences that the people who impress you do. You utilise them into something that works for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And also, I think Terry would advise everybody to shave your head. Then you don't have to go buy shampoo.
Right.
Good advice, Terry.
I remember once, many years ago, I was in a club and I don't often do it. I bought a raffle ticket and I won a complete hair care product.
Oh,
That's true.
Oh my God.
And it was a big joke because and then I went up to get my prize.
I snatched it.
In fact, I used to have a jacket when I sometimes used to wear a jacket, and I used to, part of the silliness I go through, I'd look in my pocket to get a guitar pick out, and sometimes I'd pull out a brush and I'd put it back in. I didn't need it.
Very good.
oh, that's so funny. Oh,
He's a
that's
very
so-
silly boy. He's not the Messiah. He's just a very silly boy.
oh, you're both very wonderful, silly people, which I love. Sorry, it's very, very wonderful. Very, very wonderful. And yeah,
And you've
before we
been
wrap,
lovely to talk to. Very easy and lovely to talk to. And
oh, you've been a
thank you, Joey.
pleasure to talk to too, Gillian. You and Terry. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask for our viewers, where is the best place to follow you? You know, keep up to date, and potentially when you do go on holidays and do shows, how they can follow, keep up to date.
I suppose our Facebook page is Terry Murray, and it's the ampersand and, the little sign. Terry Murray and Gillian Eastoe, musicians, on Facebook.
That's all right. We'll make sure we put that in the description so that way everyone can stay up to date. Well, that's all the time we have in today's show. I want to thank you both personally for taking the time to chat with us. It's been such an absolute privilege just to talk to you, Gillian, and to you, Tara. You're both very wonderful, carefree, giving people, like, you guys just know how to live life, and I'm really happy that I took the time to speak with the both of you.
Well, you've been very easy to talk
Yes,
to.
true.
That's why.
God, we must owe you $100 now for all those compliments. It's checks in the mail.
Oh, you're just both so wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone for listening to today's episode. Don't forget, you can stay up to date through Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to hear the other ones. And before we wrap up, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And thank you so much, Terry and Julie, for taking the time to speak with me. It has been such a pleasure. I hope to have you guys back on soon. I'd love to keep the stories going because you're just both very, very wonderful people.
Yeah. All right.
There's no end of those, I can tell you the stories. The editor.
So actually, because I have you two on, would you guys like to help sign off the show? So how would you sign off the show for us?
Oh, God, blimey.
I don't know.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. There's more, but you don't know.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. We'll finish it there. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye, Joey.
Bye.